Try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Helping with Dr. Richard Schuster. Food for the brain, knowledge from the experts, tools to win at life. I'm your host, Dr. Richard. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, and whatever you do, this is the show that is going to help you become the best version of yourself. Each episode, you will hear from some of the most amazing, talented, and successful people on the planet who followed their passions and strive to help others. Join our movement to get 1 million people each day to commit acts of kindness for others. Together, we're going to make the world a better place. Are you ready? Because it's time for your Daily Helping. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Daily Helping Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Richard, and we have an exceptional guest coming back onto the show. His name is John Lee Dumas. He's the founder and host of the award-winning podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire. With over 100 million listens of his 3,000 plus episodes, JLD has turned Entrepreneurs on Fire into a media empire that generates over 1 million listens every month and 7 figures of net annual revenue 8 years in a row. We're here to talk about his first traditionally published book, The Common Path to Uncommon Success. This is coming out on March 23rd, available for pre-order now with 5 amazing bonuses at uncommonsuccessbook.com. JLD, welcome back to the show. It is great to have you here again.
Dr. Richard, I am fired up to be here, man. That was a fantastic introduction. Thank you for all those kind words. You obviously know your stuff and do your homework, so I appreciate that. And man, I'm excited to chat today.
Yeah, this is going to be great. As you know, I usually jump into people's whys and their origins, but we did that already way back when. So if you want to hear what makes JLD tick and why does he do what he does in the world, go way back to episode 34, give a listen, and you'll find out a little bit about that. But we're here to talk about your new book, which is a big deal. And I do want to ask, though, what was the impetus for writing that book? Why did you wake up and say, this is the book I have to write and get it out to the world?
In 2012, I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship, about business. That's why I interviewed people every single day to learn more from these successful entrepreneurs. And, in 2016, I was figuring things out. My business hit 7 figures and I was doing some cool things. But now as we're talking today, Dr. Richard, I've interviewed over 3,000 successful entrepreneurs. I've had conversations with Tony Robbins, Corcoran, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Ferriss, and so many other amazing luminaries. And I've learned from every single one of them. Not to mention, I've been running my own multi-million-dollar a year business for 8 years in a row. So I've proven myself as a commodity too, not to mention all of what I've learned. And I just realized, man, most people are being lied to every single day. They're being lied to. They're being told that the path to success is tricky, it's secret, it's hidden. It's none of those things. The common path to success is there. It's common, it's simple, it's direct. Dr. Richard, it is hard work, by the way. It is hard work. I will be the first person and the last person to remind you of this, but it's the path that I followed and that 3,000 other people who I've personally interviewed have followed. And it's allowed me at this stage now to sit down and create a revolutionary 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment. That's what this book is, a 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment. That's why I called it The Common Path to Uncommon Success, because I followed the path. My 3,000 past guests have followed the path. And I see everybody who has achieved their version of uncommon success, they have followed this very common path. So this is why I had to sit down. I had to write the book. I spent all of 2020 busting my booty. I wrote over 71,000 words. Every single word, by the way, I wrote myself. I partnered with HarperCollins to go all in on this. I have personal endorsements from Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, Neil Patel, Dory Clark, Erica Mandy. Super proud of that list. And this book is that culmination of what I've been able to create so far in my life and from what I've learned so far from all of those successful interviews that I've had with the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs. And I'm here today to spread this revolutionary 17-step roadmap.
I love that. We had a lot of fun when I was on your show.
Yeah.
And I'm curious too, because I want to dive into a couple of important points, but you mentioned financial freedom and fulfillment. And a lot of people who have no idea how to get to where they think they want to go see those as exactly the same thing, but that's not necessarily so. So in writing your book and doing your research, talk to us about how you found that those two things are discrepant. And
so the reality is
first.
this: having financial freedom, a lot of people have that. And a lot of those people aren't happy, because unless you have fulfillment to go along with your financial freedom, you might be miserable. You might have the golden handcuffs. You might be waking up and doing something you hate every single day. Yes, you have money and maybe all the money in the world that you need in the bank, but without fulfillment, forget about it. And I'm going to tell you something else. As much as we'd like to believe it's not true, it is true. It's almost impossible to achieve true fulfillment without financial freedom. Because if you've got to wake up every single day and do something based on what other people tell you to do, if you can't wake up every day and make decisions based on what you want to do, what you know you were called to do, and create that in this world, you're not going to be super fulfilled. And so those two go together. If you want to be financially free, man, you really do need to be fulfilled. And if you want to have that true fulfillment, yeah, but you have to have financial freedom. It really does go one with the other. So that's the combination that this book gives you. That's the combination that this 17-step roadmap will lead you to. It will show you how to achieve your version of uncommon success through this roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment.
So that makes perfect sense. They're different, but they're kind of like a chocolate and peanut butter sort of thing.
Wow. I mean, if you go for that kind of unhealthy food, I guess.
So I'm curious, as you were doing your research and writing these 71,000 plus words, was there anything that surprised you in looking back at the data from your 3,000 plus interviews that you didn't really expect to see?
One of my chapters is over 15,000 words just by itself. And when I started writing that chapter, I had no idea it was going to be such a beast. I just kept writing and writing and writing, and I was so excited and on fire by it. And looking back, I'm like, that's actually the reason why we've achieved such a high level of success. And that chapter is about creating your content production plan. There are 17 steps. Every one of them is critical. They're chronological. You must go through them step by step if you want to achieve the uncommon success we're talking about, if you want to achieve that financial freedom and fulfillment we're talking about. But that chapter, to answer your question, I looked back and I was like, holy crap, this is so meaty. There's so much stuff here. And wow, I can see it so clearly now that we win on such a high level, and we've won for so long because of this, because our content production plan is dialed in. The systems, the tools, the automations, it is a well-oiled machine. One thing that I'm super proud about that I know you know of our business is for 89 months in a row, we've published a monthly income report. We bring on our lawyer to give a legal tip. We bring on our accountant to give a tax tip. And we publish our monthly income report every single month. And for all 89 of the past months in a row, we've netted over $100,000 in revenue. That's a huge, massive, insane accomplishment. It's because of our content production plan. When you get to step 11, which is to create a content production plan, you're going to say, oh my God, now I'm ready. You want to be ready to just go right to that chapter, by the way, and do it. You can't do it. You need the other 10 steps prior. But man, when you get there, you will be blown away.
So now you've got me excited. So let's talk about what that 17-step roadmap looks like. How do we get there? Where do we start?
So you start at step 1. You start at chapter 1, which is your big idea. We talked in the pre-interview, Dr. Richard, about you're excited about a book you have coming up. And you said, I'm just so excited. This was the book I was meant to write. My friends, that's what we all want in life. That's what we all need in life. We all need to be creating the content we were meant to create. And that's your big idea. And so many people are doing things right now that are just a copy or is just like a pale imitation of what somebody else is doing that's successful in this world. And so they're just doing it because they're like, well, if so-and-so had success, then maybe I can too by just copying that person. If it's not your big idea, it's not going to work. And that is step one, chapter one. I give you the gift of your big idea. That's how you start. And then you're able to go throughout the rest of these 17 steps in chronological order and make things happen. And something that I'm really fired up about, by the way, is that we have brought on 17 all-star entrepreneurs to contribute to each and every chapter. So each chapter is broken down into 3 sections. Section 1, let's just take chapter 1 for an example. Section 1 of chapter 1, what is your big idea? How do you get to your big idea? Here are exercises and examples of how you can do just that. Section 2, how I acquired my big idea. So you have a real world example. And then section 3, I said to myself, of the 3,000 plus people that I've interviewed, who best exemplifies coming up with their big idea? And for me, that specifically was Hal Elrod of the Miracle Morning. So I had Hal contribute a whole section in my book on how he accomplished his big idea, how he identified it, created it, crafted it, and then took it to the next level. And that's every single chapter. Section 1, section 2, section 3. And I brought on some of the biggest and best entrepreneurial minds in the world. Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield, Selena Sue, Jeff Walker, Russell Brunson, Ramit Sethi. I mean, these people are the top of their game, and they crush it for us.
Hey guys, Dr. Richard here. For the past 7 years, I've been privileged to bring you incredible guests who are changing the world and can help you become the best version of yourself. I'm really excited to share with you a new quiz that I created based on my clinical training that will curate for you a custom list of my top episodes and actionable strategies to help you wherever you are on your journey. All you need to do is go to drrichardschuster.com to take it, and it's 100% free. You'll be taking the next step on the journey to unlocking the power of you, and I can't wait to see where you'll go.
So I know we don't obviously have time to jump into 17 of these steps, but let's talk about a few of your favorites. Which ones really stand out to you as, critical? And obviously in talking, we know we can't skip steps, right? There's a turnkey approach to doing this. But what are the steps that not only get you really excited, but really provide the most feedback to people going through the uncommon success strategy, to where they say, yep, this is working, right on, I'm doing this?
Well, let's skip to chapter 17. Step 17, which is keep the money you make. And let me tell you, right now, you're listening to me. If you're hearing my voice, you're seeing my face, somebody right now that's out there that has all the trappings and appearances of being successful. And they are on certain levels. But man, if you could ever just take a blink, a little blip at their bank account, you'd be like, where's the money? Like, they maybe make so much money, they have so much influence, so many followers, so much reach and power and all the trappings of success. But at the end of the day, they have not figured out how to keep the money they make. Because listen, it's not super hard to make money in this world, especially when you follow this 17-step roadmap. You will make money following this roadmap. But what's tough is keeping that money you make. And there's so many people that work for years and years and years and generate all this income and generate all this wealth. And then at the end of the day, they look and they're like, where is it all? Where's it all gone? And after, employees and ads and taxes and expenses and lifestyle decisions and bad investments, it's all gone. And it's happened to so many athletes, to so many business women and men around the world. It happens. And this is how you can keep the money you make the right way.
That's interesting. And it is something that I've heard so many times over, that people absolutely, they get a little taste of success and they buy the car that they shouldn't be buying and the house with twice as many bedrooms as they need. And then this happens.
It just feels like it's a natural human quality to continue to up-level your lifestyle to your income. And if you're always just living, right above or right below your income, you're always paycheck to paycheck, no matter what it is, what that looks like. And it's a problem. So I get you there.
Curious, in writing this book, you spent the bulk of 2020 writing this book, which during the bulk of 2020, the world experienced something that they haven't in over 100 years in the COVID pandemic. Talk to us about how elements of your book shifted because of that, if at all, and how going through this process will work or have to be modified because of something like a pandemic.
So nothing shifted. In fact, it just got me more excited and fired up to get this book out to the world, because now, millions of jobs that used to exist no longer do. So people that used to be able to get up, schlep to work, sit in a cubicle at a job they hated, go home, eat crappy food, go to sleep and do it all over again, they were zombies. They were stuck in this endless rat race because they thought that was the only thing they had as options. Now, a lot of them were ripped out of that rat race, and they never would have got out on their own, but they were forced out of it because of the pandemic. And now they're like, whoa, this is like a wake-up call. It's time for me to take control of my life, to actually not be at the whim of some corporate or economy or pandemic or this or that. My business thrived in 2020. Like, I made more money in 2020 than I made in 2019. And that's because my business thrives in the online marketing world. And that's what this book can give you. It can get you to your version of uncommon success in your apartment, in your bedroom, in your home office, sitting at your desk or at a coffee shop, doing what you're doing. I'm not saying you become an overnight millionaire. No, it's going to be really hard work to get to uncommon success. And uncommon success, by the way, might be somebody at a lake cottage in Bozeman, Montana, doing something they love doing and making $87,000 a year, but they're financially free because their cost of living is low because they read chapter 17 and they figured that part out. And they're loving their life because they're waking up every day doing what they want. Maybe they're going fishing in the morning, doing some work in the afternoon, and then, doing whatever they want in the evenings. Like, that's what this book gives you. It unlocks both financial freedom and fulfillment. That's the pledge. That's the promise.
I love that. I had a conversation with a recent guest and we were off air talking about legacy. When you look back, fast forward here, but 20 years from now, 40 years from now, and you're looking back on this, what do you want your legacy to be surrounding this book?
I don't love legacy. I've never really liked the word. I've never wanted legacy. It's just not my thing. And, I'm not taking that away from people who desire legacy or want legacy. It's just not me. For me, I'm so much more about the ripple effect. And that's what I want from this book. I want people to read this book and I want them to either forget my name or not even care what my name is. That is so immaterial to me. What's material is they read this book, they apply the 17-step roadmap, and they go off and they achieve financial freedom and fulfillment, doing what they were meant to do, doing their big idea. That's just the first step of the 17 steps. And then they inspire somebody or a whole host of people as a result. And now those people that they inspire are going off and doing their amazing thing. And then that third, fourth, fifth degree of separation, I love that. I love that ripple effect. I love that waterfall. Like, that's what I care about. Like, when I die, I have no illusions of grandeur. People might be like, oh yeah, I heard his podcast and he was a cool dude. He launched a great book, hopefully, is what they say. And then they're going to forget about it. I mean, look what happened to Prince. Prince died. And then a couple of days later, after playing Purple Rain, like, it was on, we move forward. I mean, that's what you do. You can't dwell over every death that happens. I mean, the great Larry King passed away as you and I are talking, and very sad, very, very terrible. But, we will move forward. We will move on because that is our passage in life. So for me, it's just all about how can I, while I'm here on this earth, do what I love doing. And while I love doing this, help others find what they love doing. Like, that's the ripple effect that I want to give.
Love that. We know this book is coming out on March 23rd. Give us a scoop on the launch details.
Listen, you don't want to wait till March 23rd because I have 5 amazing bonuses for you if you act today. All these bonuses, by the way, Dr. Richard, they disappear on March 23rd. You can no longer get these bonuses. And you'll see why when I start talking about it. But we want your pre-order so that when the book launches on March 23rd, boom, things blow up. So The Common Path to Uncommon Success, this beautiful book. This book launches March 23rd. But if you pre-order today, you're getting 5 amazing bonuses that, again, disappear on March 23rd. In fact, we're pulling these bonuses over the next few weeks as well, one by one, because one of them is insane. All 3 of my journals, the Freedom, Mastery, and Podcast Journal, I am shipping to your door for free with a pre-order today. You pre-order the book today, I'm shipping these journals to you today. $150 worth of true value physical journals being shipped to your door if you're based in the USA. Outside the USA, you get immediate access to all 3 digital packs, which are beautiful as well. Plus, there's 4 other amazing bonuses. I won't spoil the other bonuses, but if you head over to uncommonsuccessbook.com, uncommonsuccessbook.com, you can check them all out. You will love the bonuses. You'll have a video of me describing more details about the book, all of the endorsements from Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, Neil Patel, Erica Mandy, Dory Clark, plus the option to pre-order. And that is my call to action to you. Make this happen.
That's uncommonsuccessbook.com. We'll have a link to that, of course, in the show notes at thedailyhelping.com. As you know, man, this flew by, and I knew that it would because you're a high energy dude. I love to wrap up every episode by asking my guests a single question, and that is, what is your biggest helping? That one most important piece of information you'd like somebody to walk away with after hearing our conversation today?
Listen, it was the quotes that slapped me into action. Back in 2012, I was 32 years old. I was going nowhere. I had a bad track record of past career failures. And this quote reached out and virtually slapped me in the face. Try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. And it was so clear to me that I was trying to be a person of success all of those past years, and I wasn't finding any success. And when I asked myself, what are you doing of value in this world? The answer was nothing. And I decided to change that. And I changed that by releasing a daily podcast, interviewing entrepreneurs for free for 2,000 days in a row. And that's why I won, because I became a person of value. So you look in the mirror now and ask yourself honestly, how am I becoming a person of value? And if you cannot answer that question to the best of your ability that excites you, then you need to figure out how to do just that.
Beautifully said, JLD. Loved having you on. Thanks so much for coming on today, and can't wait to check out that book.
Adios, brother.
You got it. And thanks each and every one of you for checking out today's episode. If you like what you heard, give us a subscribe on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review, because that's what helps other people find our show. But most importantly, go out there today, do something special for somebody else, even if you don't know who they are, and post in your social media feeds using the hashtag MyDailyHelping, because the happiest people are those that help others.